team. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. With that, let's get up to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. For the call, we bring in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game, there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet, and both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And they will be led out by a young man, probably with some butterflies here. A lot of anticipation making his first NFL start.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And that goes as a gain of 37 on third down.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Back to throw here. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
Well, peel back the curtain, partner. We've got a pretty good look into how they plan to play this game. Aggressive seems to be the word. Going for it on fourth down in that situation.
Yeah, opening drive. Now, we know this coaching staff, they have traits of aggression in their history, but what a start to this game. They're going for it.
Yeah, a lot of people might say reckless, but they got it. 1 for 1 on fourth down here early in the game.
Looking to throw. And he's got it. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Vernon Davis, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Raiders drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at about the 32. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. He's going to air it out deep for Green. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Second and 10. Dalton once more. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Dalton to his big target, Eifert, for the Cincinnati first. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
Vincent Ray, the linebacker, in on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now a carry for Bernard. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
3rd down from the gun, Dalton. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Orlando Scandrick.
You've got to know as a quarterback that it's going to be tough to outthink this guy in the defensive backfield. He's been at it 11 years now, so he knows all the ins and outs of the position, and he's in the right spot there to come up with the interception.
He'll look to throw. And that's caught left side. Seals Jones with it. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
That's complete to his tight end, Seals Jones. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that'll make this a second down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And he'll find his tight end, Seals Jones. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as he'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rolling to his left. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On play action, they'll throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. It's second down. Dalton looking. That's complete to John Ross. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. A first down throw coming for Dalton. He's going to sling this deep downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Andy Dalton, and he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Ndamukong Suh, busting through to get him for a loss of 6. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. And he's going to go down again. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Returning it, John Ross. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And the Bengal fans are probably saying, where has that been?
And they have to, because everyone wants to talk about having a balanced offense, but these two, Andy Dalton, A.J. Green, their connection is vital to their chances of winning.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
He had a great read there from his free safety position. And, Charles, you know with those guys, it's all about their eyes. They have to be laser-focused.
Yeah, I had to fake my way through it when I was playing, but now I can see exactly what they're doing. And on that play, he obviously had no presence to feel like he's being pushed for a pass. And without that, that allowed him to get up to the line of scrimmage and hold him to no gain.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Brought down by the cornerback, William Jackson.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Back to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
And taken right on the 30. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Get a little closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Fakes the give to Bernard. Dalton. He's going to air it out deep for Green. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Dalton on the draw to Mixon. Room to run past midfield. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down.
The timing and the faking on that play was so good, you almost think you're at a magical act, right? The magician has shown you something, and then you realize it's not really there. He's created an illusion, and the illusion was they were going to throw the football. Looked like a pass play. Instead, it turned into a draw. Offensive lineman able to get out in front. They drew the defensive line upfield and beat them at their own game, and that's why they picked up big yardage into the secondary.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
And that is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So out come the Raiders. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play? He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And Davis with it left side. Back now in Cincinnati as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. Here now, Johnny Townsend as he'll punt it. And it's a fake here on 4th and inches. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool them. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. So a challenge is upon us. I tell you, close game, 4th quarter. This is a huge decision.
Oh, no doubt about that, partner. A lot has to be riding on this call. And you know it is a tight one because it has to be indisputable visual evidence in order to change it. Now here's the big question. Do they actually have that evidence?
I'm about to find out. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you...
And the Raiders have got him. Kyle Wilbur in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw here, Dalton. Dumps it off to Mixon. Escapes the defender. Oh, and now he bowls him over. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
Now Joe Mixon. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now. That's what they wanted out of that 1st down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in, and now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1.
And there's the head linesman right on it to spot him short of the goal line. They gave it to the fullback there, trying to let him just ram his way across. But things are going to get interesting now on 3rd and goal.
Here's a run with Mixon. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Oh, and it's intercepted at the goal line. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Solid gain of 18 and a Raider 1st down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Steps away, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jordan Willis. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. On the move to his left. And that is incomplete.
I know for us it's fun, and it's not so much fun for the rookie receivers when we see them coming into the league and we're at training camps. You see them working on getting 2 feet down instead of 1. But the best ones train in college trying to get 2 down instead of 1.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team.
That was pretty obvious. He didn't let him catch it.
Agreed, and what's hard is you make that long run downfield to try and cover it, but you got to locate the football as well.
He'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be second down. They'll look to throw. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Ross. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. In for the score. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. And his first throw here is incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And that'll bring up second down. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you describe that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline. And he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. I thought you were going to go on the field, but okay, I see you. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Obviously a big first down right there.
Yeah, they still got to hustle. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage and get set. But I don't think necessarily you need to spike it, but they've got to continue to move quickly.
He's letting it fly for Cook, and that's caught inside the 30. And now the Bengals are going to call another timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Goff. And his throw is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. This is caught. It's Cooks. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Goff now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Starting left here.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
We can't be totally sure that that was by design, but we do know that a lot of kickers like the ball on the right hash in order to kick the field goal.
Now Goff. And this is going to be caught. He got it. It's a touchdown, and forget overtime. Barring a miracle, they're going to win this thing in regulation.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears, they get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
This one taken just inside the 10. And now running right through him. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, 2nd down. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
And this one is incomplete. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it, because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire...
Players on your team earned XP. Quickly upgrade your team at the end of each. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. You have grades. Browse available players to improve your team. You have an injury from the last game. See how long they'll be out. You have a big decision to make about one of your players. Your player is... There's a high chance of re-injury if you play it.